Several days ago, the nation watched in absolute horror as a small plane crashed directly into Rockhampton. Its cargo was a dirty bomb that spread radiation across the area, causing a terrifying crisis. If New Zealand wasn't training with its cybernetic infantry device nearby, it would have been worse. But the nightmare doesn't seem to be over. Chris, it's George. Chris, are you there?
What?
We have another insurgency crisis on our hands. You've been called to action, I'm afraid.
Oh, come on, bro. I'm still in bad condition. I still haven't gotten over the bioweapon attack, and you're demanding that I come back in the field now?
The highway patrol just caught a truck full of weapons a few hours ago. They were smuggled from some obscure location on the west coast. ASIO's calling on you to be front and center by dawn's early light.
10-4. Now, good night. Colonel Windhover. Good afternoon, Agent Hudson, and whoever you are. This is the report that we have received. At 12:01 p.m., just outside Richmond, local police seized a van carrying large amounts of high-caliber rifles, rocket weaponry, and hand grenades. Is that right? So the driver has told us some bad news. My main theory was that these weapons were being smuggled to a militia of sorts. And my gosh, there is a militia planning an attack. In fact, they just perpetrated an attack in Rocky, as we all saw. So it's much worse than we thought. They're calling themselves the Crusaders of the True Republic. They are a right-wing extremist militia. Their origins extend from a certain church in Victoria, stripped of their charity status over inflammatory statements by their pastor. These men are pathetic revolutionaries who will kill innocent civilians in the name of bonehead ideologies. We have seen disasters such as this happen before. Case in point, March of 2016, when an undercover cult helped the Brabach Foundation launch a large-scale attack on Brisbane. The result was a day of total and brutal warfare, which Brisbaneites still refer to as the Day of Endless Thunder, from which the weary region still hasn't fully recovered. I was on the front lines of that storm. Had the French not sabotaged them from inside when they did, we would have seen chemical weapons deployed that could have rendered the entire region uninhabitable. French interference, you say? I was not informed of that. Was it the Skyfighter Squadron? In New Caledonia, yes. Interesting. As well as that, last year, during the Marriage Amendment Act passing, you and New Zealand forces successfully foiled a terror plot in Victoria. A smuggler's plane was carrying high explosives towards Melbourne, only to be shot down and the perpetrators refused to be taken alive. After investigation, we discovered that it was indeed those maniacal Crusaders who created this militia. Alas, we have the real threat to our national security, and now they're trying to get their hands on more weapons. So what should we do in the event of an attack? You, my friend, are out of your domain in this scenario. But as ASIO and the Australian Federal Police, we are the ones to conduct an investigation, infiltrate the network, and hopefully shut it down. Not only have they attacked Rocky, but they're also attacking our facilities. They've killed colleagues of ours. They must pay for this. That will do, Randolph. But yes, we would like to see justice. Very well. From now on, this base, and anything that can fly in it, is under our authority. And I believe we are at an agreement. I believe we will get along just fine. Alright. Carver will be around soon to show you the rest of the base, and I look forward to working with you. Good day, gentlemen.
Where no council is, the people fall, but in the multitude of councillors, there is safety. I've been searching the deep web using this country's domain for a while now. For a time I haven't been enabled to find much answers, but now I'm getting closer. I am Agent Epstein, an operative of the Institute for Intelligence and Special Operations, or just simply the Institute, the Mossad. I've come here with one of several teams of agents in search of a stolen weapon. This weapon is from a special stockpile and is so secret that not even we were told the full story. But, as we found out, the weapon is being held by domestic terrorists, so a cautious approach is required. Fortunately, the Mossad knows just the way. It kept connections throughout the world, and it kept them secret even from its own people. These connections are known as the Sayanim, derived from the Hebrew word Lasaya, to help, and there are believed to be about 200,000 of them around the world, Jews sympathetic to the state of Israel, who would perform useful functions on behalf of the Mossad. A Sayan working for a car rental agency would supply information on its guests. It was the job of every Kasta, or local case officer, to recruit a dozen Sayanim in every town they could. They were stored away, kept ready, for the day when they would be proven useful. Our Australian Sayanim friends were helpful enough to provide accommodation and get us this close. A Sayan inside of the church where these terrorists consolidate has told us what we need. So we've done the easy part of finding out who they were. The leader of their church, Jeremiah Paulson, does not seem to be very aggressive or sinister at first. He does have a track record of rebellious speech, but that seems to be in the past. Although, to hear testimonies by former members of the church, various high-ranking members treat them poorly. In the vein of Jonestown, almost. Yes, the real problem is with them, led by his son, damn it, I'm being hacked! All the while I am constantly getting hacked, which can be quelled by several methods. Good thing a bunch of the Sayanim were tech geeks. Kinda like me. There, hacked blocked. Where was I? Oh right. From what we've seen, Joseph was the one who arranged the weapon theft. A potential mastermind in this whole crime. Capturing him could be our key to victory. Now comes the difficult part, finding out who's behind the transfer. The weapon wasn't placed on the black market. Whoever sold it to these terrorists must have planned it for a while. We codenamed him Harpooner. This source is believed to originate from the now defunct organization of Strelka. We've teamed up with a special ISAF team who's also looking for this source and... What was that noise? Someone's inside! The deeper I get into the web of the terrorist network, the higher risk I have of a kidnapper tracking me and breaking into my house. Throughout this operation I have to deal with kidnappers, stalkers, and hackers, all without a doubt employed by our targets to either kill us or scare us into submission and then kill us. Let's just hope they're locally employed, and on top of that, we must worry about the Australian Federal Police catching us. We cannot let the Australians interfere in this operation. Even though we are on their home soil, this weapon and its retrieval are our responsibilities, nobody else's. We'll make sure of that. Nobody will get in our way. Never have, and never will.
Mr. Byrne, it's Thomas Hobbs.
Director, a pleasure to be speaking with you again. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thanks. How's yourself? That is very nice. So then, Mr. Byrne, the Foreign Minister has asked me to speak to you on the subject of hit squads. Although the war is officially over, we've discovered that there may still be some dissidents seeking out certain people here. We fear that you may be on one of their lists.
Pardon me, sir, but I thought you already did a while ago.
Yes, I did, but it appears to have become worse. The Border Force and Home Affairs are working round the clock to single them out, and we are trying to find where they're coming from. But there's just a lot of things on right now. I'm dispatching an operative to your community to keep a closer eye on the situation.
I understand. I'll alert my peers to be on the lookout.
Good man. It seems I have business to attend to. I must go. Best of luck.
Thank you for the heads up. Good night, Director.
So then, the ASIO Director's Trust is not the issue today, Major Colesvart. It is my trust you must earn.
A pleasure to meet you, Director Hobbs.
You are a hunter, I see. ISAF's Seeker of Things.
That's not the official job title, but it's close enough.
And now you are hunting a remnant of a Strokan war.
Not so much a remnant as the remnant of a Strokan war. You would know much about that war, wouldn't you?
I was one of the soldiers in Papua New Guinea and the Hydrian Line. How could I ever forget?
Well, yes. I'm now taking command of Task Force Osiris to find this source that may have high connections with the now deceased Strokan dictator, and bringing it to light. But first, I've received a message from the Israeli Mossad to relay to you. They're requesting a meeting.
The Israelis? What for?
That they did not tell me. Oh. Well, what are the odds? Here they are now.
This is Director Hobbs.
Director Ronan, a pleasure to meet you.
Did Major Colesvart arrive okay?
Yes, I did.
He tells me that you and his team are engaging in a joint operation.
My agency has conducted an investigation into a missing weapon from our stockpiles.
And that is why I am here.
I heard. The news is not good. What is this missing
We are
weapon?
not obliged to describe its contents.
What do you mean?
It is a special weapon. We conducted a raid on a hideout for the thieves in Jerusalem and made several arrests. Some of them spilled.
Who are they working for? Your usual adversaries?
No, it was not the Arabs or any known terrorist groups, but we did learn that the item was to be smuggled onto a freighter for your country's port city of Albany.
What? We would never steal a weapon from another country.
We believe you would not either.
Are you requesting cooperation, Director?
For the safety of both our countries, I will see if it can be arranged. In the meantime, Major Colesvart will help you.
Osiris will be with you.
If this weapon has fallen into the wrong hands, then I'm willing to bet millions of lives will be at stake. I trust that is accurate of its properties.
Very well. Good luck, Director. Ronan out.
Very well. We'll be in touch. Thank you. Well, that was unexpected.
You get used to that when you work with them. But if I could just offer a bit of information, or an opinion, considering how evasive the Israelis are in describing the weapon, and how they've rarely announced their entry into other nations before, we have reason to believe this weapon is a WMD. Maybe even a nuclear device.
Unbelievable. The worst kept secret in nuclear politics. The state of Israel will neither confirm nor deny the existence of such weapons when asked. No sense in discussing the usage of a weapon you don't have. But they did collaborate with the French, with mutual assistance regarding nuclear programs.
Even then, France did eventually impose an embargo against Israel, at which point the Israelis turned to South Africa, during the apartheid era, mind you, to complete the project, jointly developing their nuclear arsenal with South African collaboration. Tell me, Director, are you familiar with the Vela incident?
Well, maybe.
In which an American satellite detected what may very well have been a nuclear explosion in the southwestern Indian Ocean. It is suspected to have been a joint Israeli-South African nuclear test. Politics do indeed make for strange bedfellows. The South Africans eventually dismantled their nuclear arsenal, becoming the first and thus far only nation to voluntarily abandon their arsenal. And Israel has not.
So what do you expect the Israelis to do?
I have been openly told that the Mossad is going to deploy agents to find the weapon, and potentially their Kadon counter-terrorist units. We could even later have Israeli special forces deployed here.
Very well. So you'll be hanging around for a while?
Hopefully, we'll be able to find the source together, for the sake of all our people.
Very good. My department currently has its hands full, but we will do everything in our power to ensure that your operation has the best support that we could possibly offer.
Oh, hey guys. Hey Jim, you made it back. I was starting to worry. We were worried about you guys too. What happened? Where'd you guys go?
We didn't have enough fuel to get home in time, so we went to a cattle station airstrip and touched down there. The local residents were kind enough to let us stay.
We saw what happened to Rocky on their television. It was a horrible sight.
And now we've come back to see that ASIO and AFP officers are calling the shots.
It's not as bad as I thought under the heels of the feds.
Still not a lot we've seen though.
And still much to do.
Well, buck up, because we're just getting started.
Dr. John Masters and his marvelous machines are coming in to help. But what's keeping them?
They were stopping in New Zealand to get more supplies. Wartime makes for quick visits.
By the way, Firefly, I've been meaning to ask, what brought you here? What brought you right here to the Royal Civil Air Patrol?
Well, I was on the New Horizons when I launched the operations against Dagala. After the battle, I lost my will to continue the fight against those creatures, after knowing the disasters Dagala brought. After that huge sea battle in Juan Peninsula and the nuclear depth charge attack, I decided my flight career had reached its end. I wanted to help civilians at their level, flying charter flights and volunteering, basically helping them in a way that I could not going supersonic and stuff like that. So here I am. I understand. It was thanks to that monster that we almost lost food production in Australia, and were forced to change our tactics.
This was further prolonged by what happened in Northern Territory, caused by the loss of control over their bioweapon, and the conflicts of both India and Pakistan.
We'll overcome these problems, don't you worry. Queensland has endured many disasters outside of the invasion, Cyclone Yasi, the 2011 floods, drought, and much more. We took a lot of hits over the course of history, but we recover every time. Our determination has been tested, that's for certain.
Absolutely, my friend. Hey look, they're here.
What?
That crazy transport design. Only the doctor would come up with something like that.
Oh my gosh, I gotta catch up with these guys.
Have a lovely day.
Hey, the doctor's back.
Well, 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 Dr. Masters. A pleasure to see you again. What's been going on in your part of the world?
Bunch of cancelled contracts. Like everyone else. And we're in negotiations on a few that might keep the company afloat.
They gave us funds to finish building the 2 silver medals we had assembled on the floor. And they might give us money to build a few more if we can demonstrate the full mission capability of a few more mission modules. So it's not a silver medal anymore, is it? It survived because it's a good multi-mission design.
Welcome back to Malkara, Colonel Torres. Thank you. I wasn't told you'd be part of this project. We're not part of your project, but we're granted access to the flight line and around here when certain special air mission aircraft come in, and the arrival of one of John's monstrosities qualifies. For some reason, the Great Strike Force Aces have decided to check out of the real world and banish themselves to the void, which I believe used to be Malkara's official designation. No?
Well, look who's here. The famous disappearing ace.
How are you feeling, Whack?
Much better. Thanks for all the visits.
Glad to see you up and around.
Thought I'd tag along with Charlie and Caesar on this deal. Hanging around the house and doing nothing but rehab was driving me up the wall.
Did you bring one of those bushranger units?
Of course. Masters still wants to sell a bunch of them to the government, so I'll demo it if they want. Actually, I kinda like wearing the long undies these days. The exoskeleton is a whole body brace.
Everything you asked for is right there. If you need help with housing, just ask, but the trailers are the best we have right now. The base is shrinking every day.
I'm just a phone call away if you need me. And if you'd like to explore the town later...
I think we may be very busy for the next few nights, Major. Thanks for the offer. So we at Skymasters have created the Cybernetic Infantry Device, the CID.
The previous version has survived RPG rounds and even 30mm cannon hits. It can operate underwater up to 100 feet and in a chemical, biological or radioactive environment for short periods.
We can increase its effectiveness with packs that contain different weapons, sensors, even unmanned aircraft. It can absolutely no weapons. Director Calvin has made that exceptionally clear, and I concur with his directive. The robot is not to be armed with any weapons. In fact, I don't even want it out in the open unless it's involved in an actual operation against armed extremists or terrorists. And it's been determined that our capabilities might not be superior to theirs. As far as I'm concerned, it's for heavy lifting, and that's all. That's a big mistake, Agent, but it's your call. The CID has thousands of advanced capabilities that can easily... I don't need your robot or its thousands of advanced capabilities. ASIO has its own resources to investigate crime and make arrests.
And if we use any outside agencies at all, they are directly controlled and supervised by the AFP, and function in a support role only. Oh sure, the feds are gonna do great things with those services. After all, didn't you guys cuff the wrong woman in that Pine Gap scandal?
What? You watch your mouth.
I assume that means yes.
Moving on. You, Macomber? You're here with the other setup. That electronic armor or whatever it is?
Oh yes, we call it bushranger. Armor made of special material that...
Bastards. You just can't shut it off, can you? I don't think we'll be needing it at all if the robot's work is advertised.
Fine, have it your way.
Normally I wouldn't even accept military hardware, but with loose radioactive materials around, I will. You, front and center.
Yes, sir.
You are going to train to operate the robot.
Well, I am in charge of communications and computers. I don't know anything about robots.
You're the gadget geek, so you're going to learn. Besides, you get to work with her. Now what about the drones, Masters?
We're unloading them now, and we can have them airborne tonight. The Sparrowhawk series of unmanned aircraft are small, lightweight, but very capable.
What's it? Sparrowhawks? What in the hell are those? I thought I was getting herons. I've been trained in heron deployments for years.
Are you kidding me? Herons were hot 10 years ago. True, they set the stage in the Australian military, but the technology has advanced way beyond herons. Skymasters Inc. manufactures the next generation of unmanned aerial vehicles, smaller, lighter, easy to deploy, easier to manage, more autonomous.
I am not interested in your sales pitch, or the sweetheart deal you obviously got from your Parliament buddies. Tell me what I have to work with here, or get them out of my face and away from me so I can do my job.
With pleasure, Special Agent. The Sparrowhawk is designed for medium altitude, high resolution, long range, long endurance surveillance. It's small, easy to deploy, easy to program and flight plan, and all weather capable.
All I want is for it to be where I want, when I want, and look at what I want to look at. Let me know when they're ready to fly.
It already proved its worth in several battles last year. Like when we tried to take down that big gun in Corinna. But I digress. You'll love it.
We'll see. Keep me informed.
The operation is starting to conclude. It's also gaining attention. The federal police are closing in on us. I'm going to have to finish the download, get all the files on this advanced USB stick, and then deliver it to my commanding officer. Joseph's compound is isolated and heavily armed. His particular church was brutal and ruthless to its members, a cult in every sense of the word. I've got the data, but I have to move fast. The harpooner may become restless. We must get to that criminal before the Australians do. It's time to leave. Members of his particular ring are most certainly guilty of abuse. Their time will come. Right now he's arming his compound with many weapons. He's paranoid of an attack. Let's justify that paranoia.
Matsatioto. Tov miot. Elino lamaher. Altidiak. Anachano nataposoto.
Tower, this is Destrier 01. Request permission to take off, depart south.
Destrier 01 Tower, stand by. Midnight on approach.
Hold short, Destrier 01. What's he on about?
My God, Riley, look at this!
Whoa, an actual midnight.
Man, Captain Horatio's paying us another visit.
Destrier 01 Malkara Tower, airspace restriction lifted. Clear for takeoff. Depart south.
Copy. Clear for takeoff, Destrier 01. All systems check out. Autopilot engaged.
Let's load her up in the underground hangar. Think it will take us, Captain? Oh, absolutely. Second floor for us.
Hey. If it isn't Colonel Windhover. I heard you were here again. How are you, sir?
Doing okay, Ibis. Doing okay. How was the flight?
Excellent, except for the finish.
What happened?
There was another terrorist attack, this time on a government office in Adelaide. The administrative office was attacked with a truck bomb. 21 people were killed.
All flights in and out of the state, including Woomera, were diverted. That's why I'm here.
Oh no. Did they detect radioactive materials?
Yes, I don't know what it was, but it's apparently a lot nastier than the stuff used at Rocky.
We're over the target airspace now.
Destrier, UAV's in position over the RV point. How do you copy? I read you, Destrier. I'm at the RV point now. Look for my strobe.
Viper, Destrier, we've got you.
Very good. Your first target is a large warehouse near my position. That's Joseph's office.
Copy that, Viper. Stand by. Okay, Remorse. Let's find that building and tag it.
Okay.
Building's marked, Viper. What next?
Stick close to me. We're heading to Joseph's house. He'll be leaving soon to make his rounds through the region, checking up on his operation before he heads over to his office. We're going to find him and see what we can find out.
We were told you'd infiltrated their church's network.
Our operative tried, but her cover was blown. Somebody tipped the leaders off. Whoever their foreign suppliers are, they've got connections in very high places.
You're running a hell of a risk, Viper. If Joseph's men see you, they'll shoot you on sight.
His men are amateurs. I'm not worried about them. It's their foreign and fascist contacts that concern me. I'm not going anywhere until I find out who they are. That's his house, and here comes Joseph himself. Stick with him, Destrier. Joseph usually calls his subordinates from the car while he's making his rounds. Capture those calls, and he'll give away his entire organization.
Stay on top of him, Remorse. The minute Joseph makes a call, I want to know about it.
Copy. Hacking now.
Yes, it's Joseph. Has the shipment come in? He's here, sir. Good. Get the crates ready. I want them loaded as soon as the sun's up. I'll get them ready myself. Good. Destrier, were you able to trace the other end of the call?
Stand by. Coordinates are coming up now.
That would be their weapons storehouse. Look for a large L-shaped building somewhere in that area.
Got it. Okay, Remorse, break off the pursuit and let's go mark that building.
We'll go.
Good work. Mark the building. We've tagged the building, Viper. Where are you?
I'm activating my strobe now.
Okay, Remorse, get back over to the vehicle and let's see what else we can find out.
And I told you that there will be no
I know
delay.
that voice. That's the son of a bitch who conducted the attack on our offices.
They just came in. 20 launches. The best the suppliers have. They'll be delivered to you this morning. What about the other weapons? They'll be here in time, that's all I know. Alright, you've told them that money is not an issue. We can pay whatever it takes. They know. Let me know as soon as they come in. My people are waiting.
We just caught a hell of a break. That guy must be a top leader. Viper, what do you make of these coordinates?
That's down by the water. Look for a ship, probably a large one.
Copy that. Okay, Remorse, let's see what we can find.
Roger.
Okay, Viper, we got the target. We're heading back. Viper, Destrier, what's happening?
Looks like a business meeting. A fair number of locals work for Joseph in one way or another.
We've got no way of picking up what they're saying. Do you have any idea what's going on?
I recognize these men. They're local crime dealers who work with Joseph. They're probably supplying low-end arms and ammunition to the Crusaders. I'm sending you the coordinates for their strongholds. They're set up in converted office buildings in 2 different parts of the region. Look for a pair of tall U-shaped buildings.
Copy that. We're on it. Targets are marked, Viper. We're on our way back. Viper, what's happening?
They're trying to confuse anybody who might be spying on them.
You think they've made us?
I doubt it. They're just being paranoid about the satellite attack of the last war.
Which one's Joseph?
There, I see him. Yes. He wants to know about that special shipment he's expecting. Tell him to be patient. We aren't talking about a crate of M16s. These things take time. He says money is no object. This isn't about money. It will get here when it gets here, understand? Yes, sure, I understand. Good. Where did that call come from?
Here are the coordinates.
That's down by the docks, probably another ship. These are the people I've been looking for.
We'll let you know what we find out. Viper, Destria, you were right. It's another ship. Looks like a Russian registry.
Thanks. I'll pay a visit once we're done here.
Joseph's stopping. What's going on?
Joseph and his men are engaging in a gunfight.
Get the hell out of there!
No, he'll warn his suppliers. We can't have that.
What are they going to do?
What do you think? The other gunmen have escaped. Joseph and his men are all killed.
There's another faction in this fight? What now?
I've got to do something with the bodies. If the Crusaders find them, they'll panic and go to ground. It'll take months to find them again.
Is there anything that we can do?
Actually, there is something you can do. It's getting close to dawn. The Crusaders will be setting up roadblocks through the area, and I have to chase the gunmen. If you can fly ahead and mark the roadblocks with an IR strobe, that will give me enough advance warning to avoid them.
No problem, Viper. We're on it.
Get going. I'll be right behind you. I've got some info on the intruders. They're speaking Hebrew.
Israelis? Are they the Mossad?
I was gonna say Kidon, but maybe so. Looks that way. They're pretty well armed. They must be looking for the supplies. Crikey, they've taken out a lot of the guards. They could jeopardize our operation if they persist and... What? No!
What's happening, Viper?
The Israelis have triggered an alarm. The base is on high alert.
Have they spotted the bodies?
No, it's just an intruder alert. They must have tripped on a wire or something like that. The hideout's on full alert. I'm going after the Israelis.
Wait, what? Missile lock. Damn, we're under attack.
Evade! Evade!
Flare.
Connection lost? What the hell?
They got our chopper. That was a bloody surface-to-air missile. Bastards.
Destria, do you copy? I just saw the helicopter explode. Son of a... They've got air defense. Don't worry about them for now. Follow that car!